Rockfiler z Deftones. Tak jak mówiłem wielokrotnie w New Shout Chart, zapraszałem Was, żebyście się pojawili w Parku Sowińskiego 16 sierpnia, bo tu po raz pierwszy w Polsce grają właśnie ci panowie. Ja jestem tutaj, tak jak zapowiedziałem, złapaliśmy ich przed koncertem. Hello Frank and hello Abe.
Hello, how are you?
Hey man, what's happening? You alright?
I just said because I encouraged people strongly to come to this gig because I've been a fan of Deftones since high school, which is a while ago. But never mind me. Let's start from the beginnings. And I'm wondering, have all of you been skateboarding?
Actually, it went back to high school with us. Skateboarding was a common bond between Chino. I met in middle school, junior high school.
Yeah.
We were 7th grade. We met for the first time. Probably 11, 12 years old. He grew up in the same neighborhood as Stefan, and they skateboarded together. They knew, but that was our common bond, man. Skateboarding and music, really. But skateboarding was the thing that brought us together. That brought us to even start talking about music. So, huge foundation, man. You know?
Are you still doing it?
I putt around. It's funny you say that too. We always, like when we were young, we would be in class looking at Thrasher magazine and seeing like skateboarding, you know, early on being a very California thing, you know, West Coast thing, and now beyond the galaxy, you know, it's yeah, man. But we always said, shit, you know, if we have a band, maybe if we're ever big enough to get anywhere to go, you know, we got to skate. We'll skate in all these places we see, you know, in these magazines, man. Like, and so we did, and we do. But I sort of putt around these days, man.
But was there an option for you to go pro?
No, I mean, I maybe. I never. No, I just enjoyed skateboarding. I actually, maybe, but I don't think so.
We did a small contest about questions that people wanted to ask you. So here's the first one from Kamila Ilska, that's a girl, and she wanted to ask you what kind of music your parents listened to and how did that affect your taste.
My parents were musicians. My father played bass guitar. And my stepdad played drums, who later became my dad, and you know, long story short. But I grew up with a mother who loved music and a house that loved music, man. So I was way more influenced by
the Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes. No, I mean
Flesh and Blood.
You know, a lot of like early rhythm and blues, Crosby, Stills, Nash, you know, Neil Young, a lot of older hippie stuff. Which to me is still to this day some of my favorite music of all time, you know. But I was just a start, and I went through the roof with that, you know.
For me, my parents, you know, they listened to my dad listened to a lot of Latin music, but I think the biggest influence from him was he was a big a hi-fi nerd. He always had the best audio equipment, and I would always tinker with it, and I would go through, if it wasn't my parents' music, but it was like my god sister. As I got a little bit older, my brothers, you know, and I got influenced by what they listened to. Everything from heavy metal to, in my preteens, to Prince and to pop music in general. But as I got older, I think your influences start becoming of your friends and etc. But I think our families were a big foundation for what we do, only because it was the love and then being able to do what we wanted. I think that's more importantly, you know what I mean? So, and that love is still there.
When you were setting up a band, did you always think of standing out? Was that the main goal, to do something unique? Because you are a unique band.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think to a degree, but I mean, we also came up in a really special time in music where things were being mashed. I mean, it's same with now, but now it's like times 1,000. You know, this was a time when barriers were busted down. They had been broken down for, you know, a decade prior. You know, but they were for decades prior. But this took time, and we came about in a time when the farthest types of music, the farthest, you know, from this spectrum to that, were being accepted, and kids listened to everything, and that was a very special time, man. You know,
I think it's a big California thing too. You know what I mean? It was just a multicultural. Your social circle was multicultural, and everyone was listening to different things and turning each other on. You had skateboarding. You had hip hop was brand new. You know, that was punk rock music. That was like the new punk rock hip hop. You know, and everything in general. And these guys coming from the Bay Area, you know, that thrash scene and all of it kind of just you know, it was a generation of not being scared to mix these different influences, and I think we have gotten better at doing that tastefully instead of like trying to rip off your favorite band. And I think all bands, you know, they want to, like, when you play, you want to emulate your peers or people who influenced you, but the way you get better is finding your own sound, and you're constantly doing that. We're still doing that, but I just think all those influences are a very big part of Deftones, you know what I mean?
I would like you to choose some videos, not from you, but from other artists. Let's say your favorite ones from the past, and let's say the favorite ones currently. Let's start with Abe.
I like Land Down Under, Men at Work.
Men at Work.
Prince, When Dove Cries.
Oh.
The first years of Deftones, I would say, were pretty good for heavier guitar music. And there's a question from a fan as well, from Przemek Oskierko, regarding this. Do you think that the big times for, let's say, metal and rock are ever going to come back?
Of course. I mean, no, it's so silly. It's funny, you mentioned electronic music like a while ago. During the early 2000s, 2002 I think was maybe the year. We were dealing with electronica coming out, and then all the Rolling Stone, even Rolling Stone of all magazines, like, you know, Rolling from the fucking 60s, you know, like saying, we can't believe it, rock really is dead again, and you know, and all the local music stores around the nation, the world, turntables were out selling guitar. I mean, man, come on, man.
It never dies. I mean, you just have to be a young person who is excited about something that gets you excited, and you have to be willing to go and find new sounds, because there's always creating new shit, and there's always new rock, there's always new bands. You just have to not be willing to succumb to what the radio feeds you. So if you're the type of person who goes to shows, goes to record stores, well, what was record stores back in the day? I hung out in record stores, you know what I mean? There's always something new. So the saying of something's dead, I don't believe it.
No. I don't think the question was about that. I was thinking about, because I had an interview with Alice in Chains, and they said something interesting, which is quite obvious, that during the times of Led Zeppelin and during the times of Nirvana, the good music was at the same mainstream music, like grunge or rock or metal music was in the mainstream. I think that the guy is wondering if there ever is gonna be the time when metal and rock is gonna be like, you know, that in the spotlight.
I think it's like anything you said. I mean, it just goes in circles. It goes in cycles, man, and you only hope. I mean, but I think I don't see why not.
Yeah.
You know.
And then to say that everything else outside of for metal is not the good music. I mean, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's just everyone has their turn, I guess, to what's considered popular, pop culture, I guess. You know, so. Yeah, like Abe says, it all goes in cycles. If we've all witnessed it.
Things go so quick these days. I mean, like phases and fads go so fast now. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and if you were to chase trends, you would have to chase 100, and maybe you would.
Or don't chase them at all.
Don't chase trends.
yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's another question from a girl, Maria Górska, and I wouldn't normally ask this question because I expect that you probably answered it like a million times, but 25 more people wanted to know the answer, so I think we owe them that. The question is, what's the creation process? What's the trigger for new tracks? What's the impulse? Where does it start? How does it develop?
There's really no formula for it, honestly. For us, we've found there's different ways that work at different times, and this last time was just having a really good work ethic and being very structured and just, you know, relying on that, setting a timetable when we're going to work and then having time off. But there's been other times when we've let it flow and be creative in the studio. So there's really no formula, you know what I mean?
I'd say, I mean, really, if anything, you know, a good mood amongst all of us. I mean, that's what it's always been about. And there's certainly not always been that. And that's some of our better music has come out of those tense times. It's well documented. But I personally, myself, I much more enjoy it being a positive, great time with my best friends, man. So that being said, but I think with age and just clear heads, man, clearer heads than we've had in the longest time, and just really enjoying it and doing it.
Because when I read about you, when I was doing the research, I think that many times you just went to the studio and had not a really concept. It was just developing. Am I right?
We've never thought about it, and once again, for better or for worse, it's who we are and why we're exactly where we're at now, but which I'm fine with. But we've never, a lot of bands, sit down and plot things out, and maybe have what are your short-term and long-term goals? I don't know, man. I mean, we started this band in 1988, man, and it's 2011, almost 12 now, and we've never, and there's certainly been ups and downs, and I wouldn't expect anything different. That's life, and but man, so it really goes back to just being in a good, positive space, and enjoy what you do and who you do it with.
About enjoying, are you fans of strip clubs?
Of what?
Are you fans of strip clubs?
What is that?
Strip clubs?
I've never heard of that.
Oh, the dancing girls. The dancing girls. No, I don't know.
Is that where you buy lady drinks?
Yes, lady drinks. Is that where you buy? No, I don't know what you're talking about. I like ladies. He likes ladies as well, and we like ladies that dance. We don't like the expensive drinks. You need to get back down
so
to
you
earth.
only like one aspect of a strip club. I understand. No, I'm asking because there was an idea for you to name tracks of the album.
Yeah. We actually did that. Yeah.
Working titles, right? Working titles of
it was all working titles, but also the fact that we do like ladies. I mean,
Yeah, but if you, I was wondering, maybe if you decided to name tracks like that, maybe there are some interesting stories lurking behind that.
It's all fiction, man.
Yeah. We're kind of boring at a strip club. If we go, we're like really nerdy and scared to talk, so we leave right away.
Right. What about photography? Because I saw the Instagram photo contest. Now that's your idea?
No, not necessarily.
He pointed at you.
Well, I mean, I think it worked for us because I know my band, right? And the whole social networking thing and telling everyone what, oh, I'm eating a sandwich or I'm taking a shit. None of us really like to do that too much. And I think the visual aspect really works for my band because you can take a snapshot of where you are or what you're doing during the day. And it kind of leaves it open for people to kind of wonder. And that's kind of how our music, that's kind of how our records are.
Mystique.
So instead of being very, telling everyone, and I know Abe agrees with this, you're not supposed to know everything. You know what I'm saying?
You're not doing photos of taking a shit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I just took another shit.
Yeah.
5 seconds later. Come on,
I
man.
think with the social networking, everyone thinks they are privileged to know what you're doing at all times. And we come from an era where there's supposed to be this mystique of rock and roll, and not trying to be, mystical about anything, but just trying to just let people realize, you're not privy to everything. You know what I'm saying?
And how about a little bit of what's wrong with a little bit of privacy, man?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know you hate Facebook.
you know what? I do, but I go on it once in a blue moon. I just don't. I know it's a great way to reach people and even old friends and connect, and I'm down for that. But I just
Biting your hair. Yeah.
I think I'm old.
Instagram thing worked for us because we all do it, whether people believe it or not. We all take pictures, you know what I mean, and we all post them up there, and it keeps them wondering who's posting this one, who's doing that, And aside from that, they see these, beautiful pictures and create their own, stories to it, which is what we want them to do with our songs.
When we read rock magazines as kids, we would see a photo and create what we thought, or
when
liner
we
notes
were
of a
kids,
record.
all we would do is read the liner notes of records, and that's all you had. And you would read everything, and you would, create these, and it's kind of the same thing.
But you also use your noodle, and not to say that you don't noodle now, but you gotta.
Don't use your noodle at the strip club, but use your noodle.
Don't use your wang, unless you want to.
But what do you exactly hate Facebook?
I don't hate anything, man. I just don't have time for it, and it's too much at once. It's too much for me. I got on it once. I was inebriated one night in Italy. I learned a lot of really good wine, and I signed up on it. And I was like, all of a sudden I started, and I didn't set the parameters, the safety or the security things, and I just have people, and that's cool. But I don't have time. I don't want to, man. I just want to. I'm simple, man.
Iron Maiden, Power Slave.
Money for nothing.
Motörhead, Ace of Spades.
Man, you're all getting all metal and shit, man. trying to perform for the cameras.
I said Prince. What the fuck you
I know,
talking about?
he's metal. You're trying to perform for the cameras now. Come on.
All right.
What are you most proud of?
To be able to still be doing this with my buddies, especially through all the shit we've been through over the years, and these guys have been doing it a long time, and there's been things that have been life-changing for the band as a whole, and then for each one of us in our own personal lives, and for us to get over those humps and believe in ourselves and continue on. A lot of the things that have happened, I think, would break up most bands, you know what I mean? And it's just, that's very, indicative of how we are, as codependent maybe we may be with each other, how special it is that it helps us, cope with situations, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. I think, Diamond Eyes is a really good example of that, to believe that after what happened with She, that we could still make another record without ever good. I think that's pretty fucking proud to be, something to be proud of,
Why did Deftones album cost $2.5 million? Did it cost so much?
Oh, yeah, we were fined. Yeah, we there was a time in the record in the record business in the industry that we were signed to a contract, and each record we had it set up to where we got more and more money to record a record each time. And you're coming from the lavish time, seeing all the things from the 70s and the 80s and then the 90s, whatever, all this stuff. We were fined $1 million on that record for not completing it on time.
Yeah,
the golden era of majors. The golden era of major labels.
$1 million, dude. Suckers.
It's gold.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's a lot of gold.
Yeah, definitely.
But we agreed to it too. We're like, we can do it, no problem. And we weren't.
I don't think we were ready. In that particular era, we weren't ready or in the right mindset to make a record, but we were obligated and we tried our best. And, in all honesty, it was just, the way things were. We spread it out over years. We worked in different studios. All that shit adds up. Throw in videos and recording budgets, and it just adds up. You know what I mean? And
it adds up. But on top of agreeing to a $1 million additional contract and then not fulfilling it and having that taken from you, that's not fun. That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks bad.
That was surprising.
Ever.
That was surprising. Do you remember your video chat or internet chat for WJRR? That's not a fresh thing. You were with Sergio. I don't know, in May or something. Anyway, you were making jokes about some famous directors directing your next video. And you were talking about Steven Spielberg and the other guy that lives in France or Switzerland, like right now.
No, we were talking about Super 8. I think it was Super 8, the collaboration between, I remember that.
I was thinking maybe you were talking about Roman Polanski, wasn't you?
Yeah, I'm down with Roman. I mean, he made a bad choice long ago. Never slept with that young lady.
California.
Cocaine. Probably, cocaine's a hell of a drug, I would imagine. But it wasn't Roman, but Roman's made some movies that I loved, man. And shit, man, what are you gonna say?
I'm asking because he's obviously Polish, and I was thinking if you had any ideas about opinions about what happened to him.
I think he made a very bad choice a long time ago. A really bad choice.
We all make bad choices.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're just going to get tatted down.
I know that you are going to, I don't know, maybe you already began writing the new album, the new tracks. But any other plans for autumn?
No, that is our plan, I think. We have not started writing. We do this, we go home in September. I think we're gonna start writing in October. 1st of October. We'll use that all the way to the end of the year. and we'll see what happens. And hopefully, if we get enough material, we'll start recording first of the new year. You know, so that's what's on the agenda.
Any vacations on the agenda?
I'm on a vacation right now. I mean, you know.
This is the vacation. Abe's camping tonight over there. He's camping.
I've already marked my
Nice.
territory.
You're gonna discover Poland the proper way.
He's gonna discover mosquitoes. Is what he's gonna discover.
I know Chino has just recently released the Crosses project. Anything on the side from you guys?
For me personally, no. I think my main priority right now is doing this run and being in Deftones mode, you know what I mean? And I'm really, really excited about that, especially how the whole album cycle, recording cycle before this went. You know, I want that again, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay, the last thing in this show is the artist, the star, telling a bad taste joke.
Oh, God. I don't have any jokes.
I was told not to swear at a very young age, so
You don't have to swear, you know. There are subtle ways to tell bad things.
Oh, yes, there are. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you want to know? I'm an open book.
A joke.
I have no jokes. Sorry.
I just know if there's a mosquito on your Peter, whack it off.
That was the perfect thing. One last thing for me. It's the Diamond Eyes, and it's like the best album for years, in my opinion. I would like you to sign it for me. Right now. Right now.